name is Christina J. I'm a life purpose, confidence, and happiness life coach. I have created this YouTube channel in hopes to help hurting women to get back their power, courage, and confidence without feeling guilty and embrace their true happiness in finding their unique life's purpose. Today's video is about toxic relationships and your partner's reaction when you ask for a change. So what if you finally acknowledged that your relationship is far from healthy and you have realized that you are stuck in toxic marriage or partnership? You understood that you are being emotionally or verbally abused. You came to realization that your partner might be a narcissist or an emotional abuser. What now? It is self-explanatory that you want a change in your life. You have said to yourself that you are worthy of love and respect, and the change in your thinking and in your heart have started. It is important to understand that every change starts with ourselves. Change begins with you. If you no longer want to be in a destructive marriage, you change. Simply trying harder to be the perfect fantasy wife will not help. So if you have reached the point where you are brave enough to ask for a change from your partner, that means huge changes already took place within you. You realize that not speaking up, being quiet, and pretending that everything is okay will not bring any changes to your relationship, nor it's going to make it any better. It just keeps you stuck. It is not good for you, your spouse, or your children. For the best interest of everyone in your family, it is time to be brave enough and initiate some changes. Leslie Vernick says, what your spouse needs most is a real wife, not fantasy wife, who is a godly woman. He needs a wife who will love him enough to tell him the truth and to respectfully challenge his selfishness, his self-absorption, and his self-deception. That indeed is risky love and redemptive love. And it is difficult to do with the right heart and right actions. It is the laying down your life kind of love, because you do not know how he will respond or what will happen to you or your marriage once you do it. End of quote. What will happen once you challenge his selfishness, his actions and words, and will finally ask something from his side too? Well, let's talk what your partner's reaction might potentially be when a change has started within you and you ask for a change from his side as well. You can expect for a good outcome and not that good. In good case, he could be in shock at the beginning, might reevaluate his relationship, regret his actions, his abusive words and behaviors, apologize for the pain he caused, agree to some changes, and slowly but surely will start consistently demonstrating that. Yes, it will be some ups and downs, but staying in the relationship with you, seeking God's will and making you feel loved and appreciated is his primary goal now. You will continue setting healthy boundaries, communicating how he makes you feel, verbalizing your expectations, resolving conflicts in a healthy manner, and the healing will start taking place. The relationship will slowly become healthier, happier, and the marriage could be saved. Well, sad enough, but many confrontations do not go that well. Your partner might be a narcissist, might be proud or rebellious, might be afraid, might be lazy, selfish, or even foolish. He might not understand what you are doing or why are you changing. After all, you put up with all his behaviors for the past few years or decades. Why is it now that you want things different? All that throws him off the game. He wants the things to be old way. He wants to get the old you back, and that's it. He does not want any changes. He does not want you to change, and more than that, he does not want to change anything from his side. So what do you want? The things were good for him anyways. What his reaction might be when you do ask for the transformation in your relationship. So number one, he might get very angry and blame you and manipulate you. You can get ready for such type of reaction. He might say, you just want your way, you do not care about me. Or, you are breaking our family. Or, I cannot believe you are so cold and heartless. How dare you? You think you are better than me? Who have you been talking to? This is not you. Whoever gave you this advice, they are so wrong. So what do? Try to remain calm, collected, create yourself a safe bubble that all these sayings could just bounce off you. Number two, how he could respond or react to you asking for a change in the relationship is this. He will threaten you. I cannot stand you complaining and nagging me. Therefore, we are done. I want a divorce. I'm not going to put up with your demands. You can find yourself another man. Or, I will find someone who understands me and has the same values and appreciates me for who I am. Or, if you leave now, when I'm talking to you, you do not need to come back. Just pack your luggage and leave. I guess we are two different people. Therefore, we do not have to stay together. Or, you are not yourself. If you were like that when I met you, I would have never even looked at you or dated you. The other threat, I will sell our house. Leave the car keys on the table, and from now on, you can walk on foot. I will move to another province, another town. You will never see me again. I will not see you nor our kids anymore because of you. And you will not get any financial support. Well, do not take all his threats personally. Try to not engage. Respond shortly. Say something like, yes, okay, I see. Too bad. That is what you want to do. That's how you see it. That is your choice. Number three, he will try to provoke you to start yelling and screaming so that you look unstable or like the one who's wrong. He might provoke your reaction to all the sayings above, hearing all that and more. You want just to prove your point, just to explain yourself. But he talks over you, then you get louder and angrier, and then he blames you for being unreasonable, angry, and wrong in all this. Therefore, you need to learn to keep your calm. Respond. Do not react. Remove yourself from the argument. Tell that you need a timeout. And you can resume the conversation when you both cool down. Number four, he will try to belittle you as a person and minimize your achievements. He might say, that is stupid what you are asking for. I can never give you that. You are too demanding. You are too strict. You are perfectionist. Why do you want the house so clean after all? What's the big deal? It must be something wrong with your head. Don't you remember from what God-forgotten dirty place I pulled you out? You became so cold and detached. I cannot recognize you. You know what? Even though I said we had a good sex, after all, it was not that great. Kids do not respect me because you are not respecting me, and you were not that good at raising and teaching them. They are saying you are an angry monster. You never contributed to this house. Your financial contribution to our family is close to zero compared to mine. You will never be able to help anyone in relationships as you cannot help yourself. Just quit those your studies. Again, try not to take it personally and do not allow those hurtful words make you doubt yourself. Wherever he throws at you a negative comment, in your mind, try to say the opposite. Example, you are too demanding, too strict. You say to yourself, I am caring and loving, setting healthy boundaries and communicating, it's okay. And yes, I do want the things to be well organized, the place clean, kids taken care of. That does not make me a perfectionist. I'm aiming for excellence in all I do, and that is a beautiful trait to have. You might not be able to say all those positive things to yourself at that moment when he's belittling you. In this case, find some quality time for yourself later in the day and write these things down. You need to learn to not believe those rude and belittling comments he's making about you. Otherwise, you will start doubting yourself and losing your sanity. Number 5, he will play the victim and twist the story. He will claim that he never knew anything better. He experienced some trauma in the past. He was raised in an abusive family. Therefore, you should be more understanding, more considerate. He might say to you and those around that you changed so much that he cannot catch up with you. It is just too hard. It's not even possible to live with you as you became so demanding and thinking just about yourself, wanting to steal his freedom, rob his personality. He plays victim, and victims are very self-centered. And when in relationships, they are only capable of seeing their own hurt, feel sorry for themselves. They do not care about others' feelings, showing a complete lack of empathy. Even if your partner causes the problems, and as an abusive partner he is, usually he does not see the reality and feels victimized as he causes the problems. It's quite something, really. What do? Trust yourself, set healthy boundaries, disengage from madness, and give yourself permission to let your partner feel bad and be the victim if he wants so. Number 6, he will project his abusive traits on you. He will start telling you and others that you are not doing the right thing, asking for a change. You are not willing to listen to what he has to say. You are so inconsiderate, so demanding, so controlling, so cold, mean, not being able to have meaningful conversation, not giving so needed time. And all these things actually are his character traits. You were asking him to give you quality time and were begging for meaningful conversations. You were asking him to be more considerate, not so demanding and controlling. But now he's telling you and all the world around that you are the mean one, the abusive one. Actually, what basically he's saying, it's not me, it's her. He wants you to start doubting yourself, be self-judgmental, wants your self-esteem to decline. So what do? You need to learn to work on yourself and have a strong sense of self and self-esteem, to put into practice healthy boundaries, and then when your partner projects something onto you, it just bounces off. You can also allow yourself to recognize that your abusive partner using projection as a defense mechanism. Then you will be able to realize that he's projecting and reacting to his own shame. The best thing though, when you are experiencing projection, is establishing strong boundaries, kind of like a force field. Say something like, I do not see it that way, or I disagree, or that is your opinion, or I do not take responsibility for that, or say, we simply disagree, and leave the conversation. It is important not to argue or defend yourself. Number 7, if the partner sees that all previous tactics are not working, he might claim he's ready for a change. He might say he's ready for a change and start seeing a counselor or a life coach, will be willing to go to marriage counseling, start listening to different speakers about healthy relationships, reading good articles and books, listening to sermons about marriage, love and forgiveness. That is beautiful. But be aware that he potentially might use all his knowledge gained to prove you wrong. to prove that he knows a lot now too about healthy love and healthy relationships. Therefore, you need to listen to what he has to say here. He might say that all which you have requested from him might not be that reasonable or good because he read an article on that and it says so and so, or he listened to a sermon that said you need to be forgiving and let the husband be the lord of the house, or his counselor said he is this type of personality and he cannot change, just adjust maybe slightly. Therefore, you are here being unreasonable and asking him the things that can never be put into practice. You are wrong and he's right with all his knowledge. That is hard. You be an observer in this case. Give yourself and him some time to see, to feel, to wait, and decide whether all this is real or just another manipulative tactic to quiet you and your voice, which is begging for a better relationship. Number 8, he might tell he got closer to God. Therefore, you need to step down and submit to godly husband. Your partner might continue his abusive tactics towards you, being controlling, manipulative, emotionally unavailable, blaming you, but now making comments from God's word, showing how much he's praying now, attending prayer meetings, studying Bible, and using all that to get you to lower your standards or believe that he's a changed man. And now his behavior is telling you even though his behavior is telling you that he's still the same, and all his godly claims is just the mask to get what he wants to get and to squeeze you back into that tiny box where he believes you belong. Be quiet, submissive, caring, and thankful that you have him in your life. No one is perfect, and after all, he has demonstrated that he's changing now. What else do you want, woman? Change does not happen overnight. It just does not. So you have all the rights to be careful, to examine, to question if his change is real, if his heart was really changed and he wants to be a different man, or he's just a wolf in sheep's clothing. Time will reveal. So give yourself that time and do not pressure yourself to believe right away his miraculous transformation. Be aware to not slowly quiet your voice down and get back into the same old unhealthy patterns in your relationship just because he says he's a changed man to you and mostly to all other people you know, your family, your friends, and your church community. Number 9, he will start his smear campaign against you. If they see nothing is working and you are sticking to your boundaries, you are fighting for healthy love and relationship, and you are not giving in, they will have the goal now to turn others against you in hopes that they will not figure out the truth about them. One of the ways to do that is triangulation. In psychology, it means controlling and manipulating communication between two parties. It is related to gossiping, smearing, and slandering, where the abusive partner spreads false information around. He might do that in a very sneaky way, talking to your parents that he cares a great deal about you, but he sees such drastic changes in you. Something must be wrong. He might say, she became so cold-hearted, demanding, strict. I cannot even handle all that. I love her so much, but I'm so worried about her. She acts very different. She's a total different person. I know she wants some changes in our relationship, and me too. But I think she needs some professional help. She's very irritable, sad, and depressed. I think she might be sick with depression. I would not want her to do something bad to herself. What if she's suicidal? Meanwhile, you are just living your life, working, taking care of kids, house, taking kids to after-school activities, going to church, meeting with friends, and then, boom, you start getting those looks from other people. Or hear your parents or siblings saying such things as, are you sure you are okay? I'm worried that you might be depressed and have suicidal thoughts. Or, what happened to you? You are not the same anymore. Where have you disappeared, my sister? Or where is the person that we know, loving, caring, forgiving, putting other needs first? You are not the same anymore. Something must be wrong from your side in all this relationship. And you are just in shock. You are overwhelmed. What happened? I am the same person with the same character traits. I am loving, caring, forgiving, just setting healthy boundaries and trying to stop the abuse in my family. Who said I am mean, rude, demanding, cold, not loving? And then you get it. It is the smear campaign going on behind your back from your abusive partner. His tactic hurts, like really bad. You cannot believe it, that your own parents, your own siblings, your best friends will doubt you and your goodness. And all that is because your partner was super busy behind your back, picturing you as a mean and bad guy. I will create extra video on smear campaign in abusive relationship, I promise. But what to do when all that is going on? Do not try to defend yourself or get angry. Don't try to prove you are right and he's wrong. You know what? The time will reveal what is what and who is who. You continue communicating lovingly to the people that are dear to your heart, and if they have any questions, just answer them. If they choose though not to respect your boundaries and become very pushy and taking sides, maybe you could limit your conversations for a particular amount of time. And the last point I want to mention, what is the reaction of abusive partner when you ask for a change, is this. Number 10, he will tell you, you are the one destroying the marriage. You are the one. The partner will tell that all things were fine before and it's just you who changed. And with all your demands, you are simply ruining relationship, destroying the marriage. That's it. He wants to live with you and he can adjust a little bit, but no way can agree to those drastic changes you require. It's a bit too much. Is it though? So eventually, if the relationship ends, it is not his fault. It is not his fault at all. It is you who ruined everything. And the sad fact is, he pictures it all like that to those people that he interacts with. And at least he thinks, I won. Everyone thinks I'm a great guy. I'm trying to save the marriage. And she just ruined it by her stubbornness and cold-heartedness. As I said earlier, do not prove otherwise. Do not defend yourself. If questions are being asked, answer. Come from the calm place. Do not react. Calmly respond and still stick to your boundaries. You know that you are not ruining the relationship. You know how deeply you care and how much you want to make it work. How much you prayed and begged and asked and talked and never gave up. So let all those comments and belittling just slip of you. It is easier said than done, but you can do it. In all this, it's very important to also take good care of yourself. You are no wrong asking for a change from your partner in your unhealthy relationships. However, remind yourself that the change needs to start from yourself. And remember one more thing. You have no power to change any human being, no matter how much or for how long you tried. The other person needs the desire to change, needs to focus on his personal growth, on becoming the better version of himself. Remember, you are worthy of a healthy love and respect and fulfilling relationship. Do not give up. Even when you are receiving this type of reaction from your partner, when you ask for a change, move on. Fight for love. Fight for a respectful relationship. But also know that if your partner is not willing to change alongside with you, to work and fight for a better relationship, it well could be that it will come to an end, as you will not go back into the abuse and tolerate it. That was it for today. Check my previous videos about the abuse in Christian marriages and other videos about different types of abuse and how to deal with it. Do not forget to subscribe and help my channel grow. Leave a comment if you like, and if you find useful the content of my videos, press like button. Thank you for watching. Stay strong and courageous, and see you next time. Bye for now.